Okay, welcome to part 2 of making plant species distribution maps in QGIS. I've switched lakes on you here because Arrowhead didn't have very many sites with milfoil, and so it wasn't very good for teaching purposes, I thought. So I'm switching over to Catherine Lake, but it shouldn't matter because the process for making the maps will still be the same. So let's get started. Okay, so we've already joined our plant data into our points attribute table. And so now what we're going to want to do is make the points appear different sizes for the different rakefulnesses of the species that we found. So I'm focusing on milfoil for this one. So let me back up here a second. So we're going to go to our points layer and either double click it or right click and go down to properties. Either way opens up the layer properties table. And then you're going to want to make sure you're on the style tab. Click where it says single symbol here, click and go down to categorized. And then you're going to want to pick whatever species you're mapping in this column section here. So it's automatically going to go to plot ID because that's the first column. So just click on that and scroll down and find the species that you want to map. In this case it's Eurasian water milfoil. And then go ahead and click this classify button, and that's going to bring up all the values that are found within that column. Okay, so here we have a 1 and a 2 for rakefulness, and then also we had some visuals on milfoil. There's also this symbol with blanks for the value and label, and that just means that those were all the points where we didn't find any milfoil. And then also for adding a legend in, you're going to want to add in an extra point, and then we go up to values of 3 for rakefulness. So we're just going to want to add that in. That's simply because it's going to go into your legend later on when we actually make the map. So now we want to change these points to reflect different amounts. So I'm just going to start with a 1 for rakefulness. Just double click on the symbol, go to this simple marker, click on fill, and pick a color. I'm just going to do a dark green, and I like to take the border off, so I just turn it to white. I think it looks better. And then I'm going to do a size of 3 millimeters. And then I'll do the same thing for my 2 value. This one will make a size of 4 millimeters. And then I'm going to do my 3 right away to stay consistent. Even though we don't have any values of 3, we want to still make the size different because it's going to be reflected in the legend. Do that 5 millimeters. And our visual, I like to make this a lighter color than the rest so that it's a little bit easier to see. And we'll leave that at 2 millimeters. Take off the border. And then this, I'm actually just going to delete this for now, and I'll come back in and put it in later. So then we hit OK once we have all our symbols assigned, and that pops up and shows where all of those different rakefulness ratings were for that species throughout our lake. Now if you want to go ahead and add where all of the points were, you just put in another layer here and leave the value blank, and then you can change the marker. I'm just going to do a small cross here. I'm going to do a size of 1 and just a color of black. Okay, and then under label you're going to want to put no EWM, or no Eurasian water milfoil, and if you click that, that will put in where your grid of points all is. So that's how you get all the points in, and next we will be actually making the map that we will export.